Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rock and Roll podcast. Check out this record. My name is Frank, and with me is my good buddy, Marc.
Yeah, you really sucked all the air out of yourself before you started talking, bud. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, Marc. I'm fine.
Okay.
So listen, everyone knows that they can find us on Spotify, Apple
Uh-huh.
Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and you can see
Uh-huh.
our mugs, Marc, right here.
This one?
Yep, that one
Yeah.
on
Okay.
on YouTube, right there.
What, Frank? Don't forget to tell these nice people that new episodes drop every Friday-ish for their listening pleasure or whatever they do with this.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
I don't know either.
And of course, they're hearing us for the first time, then they're probably not annoyed with one of our past reviews.
Give us time.
Yeah, give us time. Go check out the Greta Van Fleet review. We review records track by track. We have lots of musical discussions, spotlight episodes, might even include some mystery.
Ooh.
We've only scratched the surface, Marc. We're just getting warmed up, my friend.
I am a little warm, yeah.
I know you are.
Yeah. So, hey, be sure to check out our verse series where Frank and I will duke it out on behalf of two bands or albums or song or whatever, in the name we decide to come up with. And basically we can duke it out for, as Frank would call it, the total stereo domination.
With Halloween around the corner, I mean, how much better can you get, right?
Dude, I don't even know what happened there. Like all the oxygen got sucked out of my soul.
You're right. Got a little dust in there.
Yeah. Who cleans this place? Oh, I clean this place. That's
there you go. So while you're checking us out, make sure that you're looking at our Instagram, our Facebook group. Hopefully these episodes will leave you wanting more of our musical goodness. And you heard Marc's nonsense right there, folks. If you have a record you want us to check out, let us know. Drop a comment wherever you find us.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like, subscribe, rate and review. So I say this to you, Marc.
Yes.
Buffalo.
Wings.
Bills.
Not wings.
Yeah, so it's not the Bills and it's not the Wings and it's not even Buffalo Springfield, Marc.
Oh,
we're talking about Buffalo Tom.
Oh,
from your hometown of Buffalo. No, not from Buffalo, of Boston, no. Marc. How does that make you feel?
At first, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." That I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, this dude's was big back in the old Beantown. How come I never heard of him?" And then I heard, and I was like, "Yeah, I get why I wouldn't expect anyone to tell me to listen to this." And I'm happy we're talking about this record because those people, they were right not to tell me about them. And, we're going to deal with that. So, there is kind of a lot to unpack here though, Frank. I think at first I was really like, this is not for me. And then I got into it and was like, no, I'm definitely sure it's not for me, but there was a lot more to it than I originally gave it chase, because at first I was like, oh no, this is just garbage. And I was like, no, this doesn't totally suck. And right. Spoiler alert, it doesn't totally suck.
That's right. And so let's do a little history. So
would you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
so
please.
Friends at UMass, Marc, formed in 1987 by bassist, Chris Colborn, drummer Tom McGinnis, and singer-songwriter Bill Janowitz. The band's name was derived from the band Buffalo Springfield and the name of their drummer Tom. So kind of random on that, the band was friends with another Massachusetts and Boston band, Dinosaur Jr., and in particular, frontman Jay Mascis, who helped them produce the first two albums, 1988 Self-Titled and 90s Bird Brain. By 1992, they signed to RCA Records and released their third album that we're talking about, Marc, called Let Me Come Over. And this was in the heart of the grunge era, right? And this album did make some impact. Now, Marc, as the resident Bostonian, right? The city state has brought us some really cool acts, right? Pixies, Lemonheads, The Cars, Mission of Burma, Dinosaur Jr., even though Dinosaur Jr. is from Amherst. Now, I'm going to obviously mention other bands such as Aerosmith, your favorite Godsmack, Dropkick Murphys, of course.
What up, Sully?
But with that said, the bands in mind that I first mentioned, why do you think bands in this geographical area were gravitating towards this brand of rock?
Yeah, so before some guy in Southie gives me a bunch of shit, I'm nearly 40 now. I left Boston when I was 9, so don't give Frank too much shit for suggesting that I'm still from Boston. But Frank, it is a great question, and I don't think it's hard to draw a line sonically from bands like the Pixies to the Lemonheads and to Buffalo Tom here. I think that there's definitely a familiar sound within it, and I don't mean that in like a negative way at all, because I know that I already poo-pooed them a little bit. I don't want people to think I'm poo-pooing the Lemonheads and the Pixies or this band. I mean, that I will poo-poo them, but on the front, they're not all garbage, which is, I think, is an important thing. Sonically, there is a lot of sound here, not dissimilar to the grunge scene on the opposite coast. Now, obviously, as we get into Buffalo Tom, it's far more polished than you would expect for a band with the word Buffalo in their name. But it still carries a bit of that weight and that gravitas. I think the different scenes have a lot in common, weather-wise, for sure. If you look at, kind of two port towns, working class backgrounds, growing up in that shit, it's kind of like Seattle and Boston probably aren't that different.
Right.
I mean, like, obviously there's like history and shit and like whatever, but like geographically, we're not talking about that much different. Like, if you look what heroin did to the grunge scene in Seattle in the 90s and today, and what heroin's doing to Massachusetts today, it's the exact same place, except that
they just finally caught up.
I was gonna say I haven't seen the hills here. They may have nicer hills on the West Coast. I don't know. But I think these different scenes have a lot in common, weather-wise, of course, right? We talked about the port town. As for why these bands happen to land at a relative window of the same sound,
right, kind
of just as seasons pass, I think a lot of that has to do, again, with geographically where they are and those cold fucking winters, man. Those bands get locked in and they end up producing either some great stuff or they kill each other, or they produce something kind of terrible. But I mean, like, but I think it speaks to that, like, that time in particular, the mid 90s, the early 90s, of just kind of like, look, it's cold, it's shitty out, the world is shitty, Reagan was probably still president, let's write some songs and make the world a better place instead of believing in the lie that is the war on crime or drugs or whatever. Was it Reagan, like the beginning of the 80s?
80 to 88, right? So there you go.
Yeah, so like all of the 80s.
There you go.
So, but yeah.
Well, so let's dive into this record now, shall we?
I didn't put these swim trunks on for nothing.
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
So we can't see them.
No,
all right, so we start off with the song Staples. I'd imagine longtime fans of the band probably get transported back right away to the 90s with this distinctive sound, and this is what was going on at the time. They're a three-piece band, right? So they do give you a glimpse in this song of what they could do musically. The lyrics aren't life-changing, but I'm not overly annoyed by this tune. Mark, what are you stapling nowadays, out of curiosity?
Yeah, pretty straightforward. My testicles to my leg, but mostly a straightforward kind of rock, adult contemporary groove, right? And you can hear Bill Janowitz and the gang putting in a pretty solid vocal performance here. It's got a big sound for a three-piece, but it does feel a bit hollow. I think it's meant to be a light and airy sound, but again, hollow. Lyrically, I feel like that might be harsh to call it hollow, but I couldn't connect with any of the lyrics personally. So I can see what some people would like about this. It just does little to nothing for me, Frank.
Well, moving on to one of their more popular songs, we have Twilight, Taillights Fade. God, I said Twilights. Anyway, Taillights.
Are you on Team Jacob or Team whatever the other guy's name is? Was I right? Was Jacob one of the names? I only remember that because it's my middle name.
You're talking about actually, the series Twilight?
Yeah. What's the other guy's name?
Well, I know the character Edward, right? That's what you're from.
Is that? I don't know. Am I? Is it Jacob and Edward?
I think it's Ed. I know Edward's one of them. I forgot the other guy.
He's the guy who's like, he's not a bad actor now, right? Like he's the one.
Garbage. He's gonna be Batman, right? in the new.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Whatever that guy's name is.
Cedric. He was Cedric Diggory.
Yeah, he was in the Harry Potters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cedric Diggory.
Cedric Diggory.
We're not talking about Twilight. We're talking about Taillight's Fade. So this was a hit single for the band. Yeah, people were coining this a depresso album or anthem, depresso anthem. Sorry. What I'm gathering, from the song is loneliness or even someone with a potential alcohol problem. The Now It's Quiet Time, Cappy Dick, or Jesus Christ could not help my fate. I think this paints a dark picture. Marc, your thoughts on this song?
This song reminds me of another song, and I just can't put my finger on it. It makes me kind of nuts. Plus, there's a lot of like cheap rhymes that do more harm to the song than good. I just really feel like lyrically, he's dumbing himself down with a lot of these rhymes. This is what I thought that Soul Asylum album was going to sound like, and I don't care for it. Although I do like that Soul Asylum album.
Right. So check out our episode on Hang.
Yeah, Hang Time. Good.
Because that surprised actually both of us.
Way better than this record.
In a good way. Yeah, I think one of the lines here is I feel like a dinosaur. I remember hearing that in the song, and I'm like,
Feels like a dinosaur. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Track 3, Mountain of Your Head. I happen to dig this tune. It reminds me of the Replacements or the State Buddies of Buffalo Tom, the Lemonheads. I think if there was someone who had a sound of what maybe Alternative was supposed to sound like, I think it would be this. Marc, how's that Mountain in Your Head doing there?
I don't know. It sounds a lot like the last song to me. I don't know. Lyrically, I think it's kind of cooler. I think he's doing a little bit more. Maybe it's just a bit faster and a little less kind of like effects on the guitar. I couldn't figure out. I know that these songs don't sound the same, but they're totally the same structure. I'm not sure what it is. This music isn't like touching me in any ways. Like it's just not doing anything for me. It's fine, but it's never it'd be fine if I never heard it again. I don't know.
Well, we still have quite a few more tracks to go, Marc.
Oh, I know.
Track 4 is Mineral. 2 years later, the band Mineral would cite Buffalo Tom as an influence. And although I didn't find it in writing, I'm sure that's where the name origin was from. We get the Acoustics' first appearance here. I can't help but feel that this song sounds super dated. Maybe it's the strumming style or how the song amps up on the You're So Green part, but this sure does feel like a song that was written during this time. Marc?
This feels very 90s adult contemporary. They should have toured with Matchbox 20 and the Google Dolls. I would have known who this band was when we started talking about it. Maybe they would have been bigger. I don't know. It's really probably not fair to say that. Also, I don't like the band Mineral. And
actually, I don't either.
My wife's going to not like hearing that, but I just don't care for them. They remind me of this. It's whiny and obnoxious. I don't know.
Mineral and the other one, Built to Spill. I can never get a buy-in on them for some reason.
No.
Yeah.
Built to Spill is just a dumb name.
Right?
Like, why don't you just tip over easy?
There you go.
Oh, our name is Spilled. Why were you spilled? Oh, because I was built to like. Shut up,
Track 5 is Daryl. Bassist Chris here gets the lead vocals, and there's a clear distinction between the two singers. He's got a tone similar to Matt Pryor or Mac McCaughlin of Super Chunk, which kind of gives the song an emo element to it. Marc, are you feeling that as well on this song?
Yeah, on the emo bit, but I love how kind of like 80s pop rock this was. It really surprised me. His voice, Chris, really perfectly works for this sound. It's got some fun energy and a bit of darkness to it too that works for the band. I think this guy should have been the singer from the start based on this track anyways. Probably my favorite track so far.
There you go.
Well,
yeah. Well, track 6 is Larry, and Marc, we have Larry and his brother Daryl and his other brother Daryl. Sorry, if I can make a Newhart reference, I will. So
okay.
A quick time for a funny story. So Daryl sounds like Daryl, right? So that's why I put Larry and his brother Daryl and his other brother Daryl. So I too also have a friend named Daryl, and my mother
with just one friend named Daryl. You don't have two friends named Daryl?
No, he doesn't have a brother named Daryl also.
Oh, okay.
So my mother, who butchers the English language and mispronounces anything you give her, she's
been in this country her entire life, right?
Entire life, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Her father's from Greece. Her father is from Greece, but no. She's been here in New York her entire life. So she goes, "Oh, how's your friend Dartle?" And I said, "Who?" I said, "Ma." I said, "Who's Dartle?" She goes, "Your friend Dartle." Dartle. She kept saying Dartle. She's like, the one in Philadelphia. I'm like, "You mean Daryl?" She goes, "Oh yeah." I said, "Mom, you've never heard in your 75 plus years, you've never heard the name Daryl before?" And this is what she says to me. She goes, "Oh, your Uncle Danny had a friend named Daryl."
Did Uncle Danny ever call his friend Daryl Durnal?
So
Dartle.
Dartle.
I mean, I couldn't even repeat it. I've never heard that before.
For that one moment, she had like a moment of clarity, and she was like, "Oh yeah, your Uncle Danny had a friend named Daryl." Said it perfectly fine in that moment. But 2 minutes prior to that, saying Dartle and all these other things I couldn't even make out. Anyway,
right behind the veil, back behind the veil.
Oh my God! Now forget about Daryl. Yeah, now let's talk about Larry. So sure. Larry is another song I think that has hints of emo. This is 1992, so I'm not sure how much emphasis is being put on this part of their sound. However, I'd have to imagine that a few years later, they could have been packaged differently. Marc, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't like this song kind of at all. It just doesn't do much, but I agree with you, Frank, and I see why some people probably would like it. It's got that nice harmony and the decent kind of sway to it. Anyways, put these guys on with like Jimmy Eat World, right? That's up to you, and they clean up. These last two songs and songs like those, maybe.
I do like Jimmy Eat World is vastly superior than this band.
This is me falling asleep through another date is what this out like seeing this band. Jesus Christ.
Which concert was it that you fell asleep to? I forgot.
Queensryche, baby. I'm erasing my grind. I still have no idea what that album sounds like, until you pointed out that Motley Crue stole the opening to one of their songs. I was like, God damn it! Now I have to go back and listen to Queensryche. Drop my pen.
Track 7 is Velvet Roof.
It sure is.
Tempo changes here with this song. However, I cannot help that the steady pace of these songs could really want to make you just finish these before they end. So Marc, how is your Velvet Roof doing?
It's not doing good, Frank. I like the tempo change, right? I even kind of like the lyrics, but the vocals here just don't shine over any of this boring music. I dig the jam with the old mouth harp there, but otherwise, I wasn't feeling this at all, dude. This thing sucked.
Well, track 8, I'm Not There. This is Chris, the bass player on vocals again. I can't help but just be unentertained here, and it's really about these last few songs. They're not giving me anything different during their duration. There's no breakdowns, no sudden stops, no change in speeds. Marc, the song is I'm Not There, but I wasn't there for this one. What about you?
Musically, I think there are many interesting ideas here. I wish we could have seen them unfold further, but by the time you get to the end of the track, as you mentioned, Frank, you're over it and you're like, yeah, I'm not here for this either, dude. Why is this album still on? Track 9.
Track 9, Stymied. If I were putting this album together, I would eliminate the last 2 tracks and move this one up 2 notches. We get some aggression here, which in the midst of these open chords, which I think is welcomed. I would have liked more arrangements like this thus far on the album. Marc, are you feeling stymied?
I liked that it sounds like the beginning of the album again, and that the aggression is a nice balance of those earlier tracks. I'm not crazy with the wordplay here. There isn't anything problematic. It just does nothing for me. And it feels kind of lazy and repetitive. Like my writing about this album review, in the hopes of adding value where there just isn't any. for my taste.
Well, track 10 is Porch Light, another Django pop album, but this packs at least a punch, or at least you're able to distinguish this between the other songs. So, does it simply come down to melody and the melody that ends up sticking with you? I'm not sure if I know, Mark, to be honest with you. But hey, Mark, make sure you leave your porch light on for me, will you?
Oh, buddy, you know I will.
Eh.
I'll leave the light on and the door locked.
Oh.
This does not have that early 90s sound, or excuse me, alt sound, and it's perfect for what it is. It's like, you know how some people like eggplant, like fucking love eggplant, and you're just like, meh. Yeah, that's me. Meh. Oh, eggplant.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh man, track 11, Frozen Lake. With the song title like Frozen Lake, I expected more of a somber nature and less college rock of the 90s. Not a bad song to explain the complicated nature of this girl, but I'm just lost right now, to be honest with you, Mark. What about you?
Yeah, I hate to repeat the exact same thing about this song. It just sounds so formulaic to the time and sound. It sounds it's someone's favorite eggplant dish. And again, fuck eggplant.
Well, track 12, Saving Grace. Here we go. Another song that I think should have had more attention, or at least used as a foundation for other songs. I really like the fast tempo. And in fact, I think this is where the band shines. And live, I could see this getting the crowd going. So, Mark, do you know Grace? And if so, are you saving them?
Wait, who? I don't know her. What fucking album is this from?
Right.
I gotta listen to this album, not the boring one you made me listen to. It's not even a great song, but at least it's got its own pulse.
See,
this would be the only song I'd want to hear live at this point. If I'm
right?
being honest with you, Frank, I feel like this has a better sound for the band. Again, my eggplant ain't your eggplant. You can keep it. This thing sucks.
Well, final track, Mark. Whew, thankfully. Crutch.
Okay.
A fitting ending to this album, and I think they deliver here the proper final tune. I like the imagery, as you could get the feel for the weather and the city and the sky. Mark, I felt it was a good closing track. What about you?
Surprisingly, this track is like a good choice for a closing track, where like in an album where a band's just made a bunch of crap decisions. This one's like good. It's got a lot of the like angst and scattered energy that I think this album needed, and actually quantifies the time in which this happened. I this album sucks a dick without this song. I mean, now it's just sucking eggplant. So
there you go. Well, Mark, that's a perfect segue into your final thoughts on this record.
Snap. Spoiler alert, I didn't really like it. There's nothing wrong with it. If you like that early 90s alt college rock garbage sound.
There you go.
You want to feel okay about wearing flannel and listening to sad Gen Xers, then this is the album for you. It just doesn't speak to me at all. I wish the sound of the record wasn't so airy, because it does give the band, I mean, honestly, it sounds hollow. I know that they're a three-piece, and Frank and I were in a three-piece. We know how difficult it is to fill that sound, right? To really make a presence. And I can't help but feel like they went for less is more and gave us less is less. It's still better than Foo Fighters. It's still better than Greta Van Fleet. 4 out of 10 for effort, but not enough.
There you go. So with an album's title, such as Let Me Come Over, you're expecting like this yearning component of the songs to be there. There's a somber theme, absolutely. There's an isolation theme, and a theme of wanting what you can't have. I think there are some strong numbers on here, and it shows that the band does have the ability to rock out and hang with those during those contemporaries during their time. There are maybe a few tunes in here that just fall into like the excess of the time, where albums had to act as these really novels, where today's bands maybe have more freedom that they could make an album with only 8 or 9 songs and put it out. In this case, it's not the amount of songs though, but it's the fact that someone didn't step in and declare most of this most of the middle, like B-side town, like at the end of the day. Like I
Yeah.
would really like to know who okayed a lot of this. I am sure happy we dug into this so we could see what this band is and was all about. Would I say it's my favorite record? No. Would I say that this band should be more well known? I mean, I would say yes, that maybe more people should know about them. So I give this record a 5.5 out of 10, Mark.
Oh, generous.
I'm always a little lighter than you are on these things.
Well, I mean, hey, look, I'm not mostly vested in these guys, right? Like I got I just calls them as I sees them, you know, especially with no attachment. It becomes easy to go like,
that is true.
I got to tell you, don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I hear you. So the game we're going to play, Mark, is called Boston and Buffaloes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to don't hate me. You have 10 out of 10 questions here. 5 of them are Boston related. And the other 5 are Buffalo related in the context that there are other bands out there, obviously, with animals in their names. And you're gonna guess what they are. Okay. Are you ready?
I guess so.
We have to be.
I mean, I have no idea what you're asking me for, but let's do it.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so this is from the Boston section of your.
Okay.
All right. So, Mark, true or false? The Boston Fire Department is the oldest in the United States.
True.
Ding, ding, pal. You're right.
All right. I'll take that. Okay.
Chalk one up, pal.
Uh-huh.
So this is part of the Buffalo section. Are you ready?
Oh. Buffalo, I don't.
So, Mark, this English rock band formed in London in 1963 spawned the careers of famous guitarists such as Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, and Eric Clapton.
The Yardbirds?
Yes, ding-a-ling-a-lingy.
All right.
Yeah, you feeling this?
I mean, so far, so good.
All right. Next, back to Boston. My apologies. True or false, Mark? The first pizzeria in the United States opened in Boston in 1895. True or false?
I gotta say false to that, right?
You're right, because it's New York City.
That,
3 for 3.
I mean, come on now. Hey, look, I'm proud enough of where I'm from with that. They're trying to get beat up for stealing pizza.
All right, Mark. This is from the Buffalo section. This pop boogie rock band was formed in '67 in LA and is known for their hits "Joy to the World" and "Mama Told Me Not to Come."
Mama told me not to come. And it's named after a band or an animal.
Yeah, there's an animal in the name. Joy to the world.
Boys and girls. It's the bullfrog, right? It's
Joy to the people in deep blue sea.
My mother is screaming at her iPhone right now. Oh my god, I know this. I don't know it. Tell me.
3 Dog Night. It's okay. That's the first one you got wrong.
They got a song about a frog though, right?
Is that the Jeremiah was a bullfrog?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
There you go.
Which was wrong, but I mean it was right there. All right, go ahead.
All right, Mark. This is from the Boston section.
Okay.
Could you name America's first subway that's built in Boston? Can you name it?
Is it the T?
Say that again.
The T.
Now, I'm uninformed right here, but you're probably right because it's called the Tremont Street Subway. So is that the T? I'm assuming. T?
I don't know. What I know. I haven't lived there since 30 years.
I'm gonna say you got it right. I'm gonna say you got it right.
Thank you.
It's a good job, Mark. You're really
all my family up there is like screaming and yelling. That's not. They don't listen.
This one's gonna be fun, Mark. This is for the Buffalo section. So this glam metal band has made its way to being the butt of a lot of our jokes. They basically have one hit, and they were on a recent Geico commercial.
Recent Geico commercial. It's got to be Great White.
Is that your final answer?
Oh no, wait, we did an episode on them and it's not Great White. It's
no, we did do an episode on them, but we always talk about how crappy they are.
It's not Def Leppard because you like Def Leppard. It's
Round and round.
Oh, is it Rat?
Yes, remember?
Oh, okay.
They got a rat. They got a rat problem.
That's oh right, right,
All right, all
right.
right, all right, all right.
Thanks for giving me that one. What's the next question?
All right. This is part of the Boston section.
Ooh,
Mark, Boston, not Washington, D.C., was the first capital of the United States. True or false?
false. It was Philadelphia.
Ding-a-ling a ding dong.
Oh, look at me not knowing my Boston history. I know other
I
people's
know.
shit.
I know. All right, Mark. This is part of the Buffalo section.
Ooh, hit me.
This Richmond, VA metal band was formed in 94. Originally, they were called Burn the Priest, and they're considered a significant member of the newer wave of American heavy metal.
Is it Lamb of God?
You're right.
Oh, I just wasn't sure of where they were from. I thought it was that
Oh my
kind
God.
of weird southern area. Yeah.
I actually don't know anything about them. Are they good?
I mean, they're kind of cool. Whatever, it's not my thing, but like it's cool. But like I'm just thinking, like, if they're from like, did you say they're from Richmond?
Richmond, yeah.
So like the idea that like they grew up down the street from like Tim Berry and Avail is kind of like super cool to me.
I know.
Like, yeah.
Pretty
and I
cool.
once read an article that one of the dudes from Lamb of God said that Kurt Hammett of Metallica smokes shitty weed.
Okay, there you go.
I read that in an article once.
Amazing.
Uh-huh.
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 All right, Mark, your last Boston question.
Okay, give it to me.
Chocolate chip cookies are native to Massachusetts. True or false?
Native to I would say false.
It's true.
What? How can cookies be native?
Chocolate chip cookies.
All right. I mean, I'm like the fattest Bostonian, and like I didn't even know the cookie question.
I mean, are you a cookie fan?
I don't know if you've. I've been known to enjoy a cookie or two. Yes.
But that's true. They were created by accident in 1930. And
we spilled too many chocolate chips in the batter.
Yeah, the Toll House Inn in Whitman, Massachusetts. So. All right, that's the last of the Boston questions, and the last of the Buffalo question is this band that I cannot stand got kicked off a tour with ZZ Top in '91 when lead singer Chris Robinson wanted the audience to warn them about the dangers of commercialism while their tour was supported by Miller beer. So,
Chris Robinson, oh my God, what band? Oh my God. Is this the jerk who named his kid Apple? What's that band? No. That doesn't have an animal in the name. What's it? Chris what?
Robinson.
Chris Robinson.
Oh,
it's the Winnie the Pooh band. It's obviously the Winnie the Pooh band. Christopher Robin, obviously. I have no idea what this is.
It's that stupid band, the Black Crows. Sorry. Hey, man, you got.
I clearly forgot about him.
7 out of 10, buddy. You're good.
Let's see where I come from, baby.
So, Mark, that was fun. Why don't you tell everyone what we have planned next week?
Absolutely. So, I hope you guys like this because Frank and I are going to play another game of check out this Jeopardy, and in which Frank will pick out the album we listen to next week through a random weird clues that I have written. You ready, Frank?
Oh boy, born ready, pal. Born ready. All right.
Number 1. Meanwhile, in the 90s.
Okay.
Number 2. T-ball. Number 3. You don't look a day over 40. And number 4. Albums people really think we should know, but we don't.
I'm going to say we don't look a day over 40, please.
Oh, you are going to like this record, sir.
Oh.
The lead singer of this band had to fight to keep the record company from raising the price of the albums to $9.98, a full dollar more than the average album was selling in 1981. I don't know how much of the Jeopardy theme I can hum before they'll sue us. You got any guesses?
Let's see. Is this?
You will need some for your bunghole.
Desitin?
No, come on.
Preparation H?
No.
God. You said 81, right?
I said 81.
Yeah, I don't know. What is it, pal?
Oh my God, Frank. It's 1981's Hard Promises by Tom Petty.
Oh my gosh.
How did you not? I mean, I could guess why you didn't pick that up. How the fuck would you know that he had to fight to get records raised $1 or not raised $1? But Hard Promises, 1981.
Ooh.
This is when they were writing all the songs for Stevie Nicks. This was a really sexy time.
Yeah. So, okay, totally amped about this album. First of all, I think it's an underrated one in his catalog. I can't wait to talk about it. Jimmy Iovine is around this time. Obviously, he's the one who's really being the person but behind kind of the scenes, especially on Damn the Torpedoes. Jimmy Iovine starts dating Stevie Nicks, and then that's what leads them to introducing to Tom Petty and forming that relationship and things of that nature. So, oh man, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, this will be a fun one, right? Like, look, this will be an album Frank and I both really dig. We both love Tom Petty. Thus, you will need some of this for your bunghole. You need some TP, some Tom Petty for your bunghole.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but you know what? Frank and I have both enjoyed Our Last Dance with Mary Jane, or at least Frank has. So this should be a fun one. That's not on this album. That's on the Greatest Hits for no reason.
Yeah. No, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Yeah. Cool, man. I'm so stoked for that one.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I'm gonna like it already. So next week, Tom Petty's Hard Promises.
Look, I just came up with that so that I could play Tom Petty games with you. Hey guys, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Checking out the entire episode and the podcast and all that stuff.
Like, subscribe, rate, review. Most importantly, be safe.
Yeah, definitely. Now, if you would, please, will you say it with me now? Oh, my. Oh, hell yes. Oh, bye-bye.
Oh, the recording has ended. You got to stop doing your podcast now. Oh, it's up late. We got to go to bed. You got school in the morning, young man.